Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to Season 14. Once you've got qualifying, then the main 1 hour race. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Sim Racing Alliance. And this is where it all counts. As all eyes go to the light, and we are racing.
He brakes late, almost takes out the car ahead of him.
He's getting a tow, a flash.
Argy right on the exit, rear end squiggle. Who's going to get the move done here around the outside?
Oh, dang!
Byron ran it so shallow there, and this has become a 4-car battle. Game of inches as the BMW is in the paint.
And we're off and away for SRA.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sim Racing Alliance GT3 Team Series. I'm your host, Philip Mueller, coming at you live from Monza for the final round, the season finale of Division 1 here, Season 15. It's about to end with a bang. With me, as always, the ever-reliable, hard-working Ilpo Ruotsalainen. Thank you, sir, for hanging out with me this season. How you doing? How you feeling about this race?
I mean, excited, obviously. It's the season finale, and not everything is decided yet, so looking forward for an exciting race.
Yeah, absolutely. So, speaking of, taking a look before this qualifying session gets started at the overall point standings. As Ilpo mentioned, the Gold Championship is entirely up for grabs. Our top drivers separated by only 26 points from P1 Jeremy Mercer, P2 Renato Dornelles, and P3 Thiago Dinarte. This is anybody's race. This is anybody's season. We can see any one of these three drivers performing their celebratory shoey at the livery reveal stream next season. Interestingly, none of these three in the Lexus, which I'm told is going to be a formidable car around this track, despite receiving a hefty BOP nerf. I mean, Ilpo, I don't know if you've had a chance to drive that car before and after that 15 kilo ballast increase. Are we expecting some of our Lexus drivers, Spangler, Rushevitz, etc., to be still successful tonight?
So I haven't had time to test it before the chains. I'm not sure. I would. If they can stick close, it might be a tall order to pull a pole position in qualifying, but if you can be in, let's say, the second row on the start, the Lexus is extremely strong on the race start, and the long straight here makes it even stronger. So starting from P3 or P4, there's every possibility of making a move going into turn 1. So in general, if you can stay with any of the other cars, you're gonna have a slight advantage on every lap on the straight. So it is possible. I'm not saying that it cannot be done. I think it's quite possible for the Lexus to be strong.
Good. Okay, and so that's goal. So in the silver, it is official. We've double-checked our calculators, and we can inform you, Eric Marecki, with a massive, dominant, actually very impressive season in that McLaren 720 GTS Evo, taking the silver overall title over Guy Manperson and Jorintas Butkus. Congratulations to him. Hopefully we get the opportunity to talk to him at the end of the race, admire his profile picture one last time. The team standings, you know, if gold is a super tight battle and silver is done and dusted, the team championship is somewhere in between. So with an 85-point advantage and a hefty amount of drop points, the TSC team of Jeremy Mercer and Jordan Nixon in that beautiful Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo has a strong advantage over the New World Sim Racing Daddies. mathematically they're still in it, and we'll keep an eye on that. I've got the spreadsheet right here. We're going to be giving you the live championship updates as we go, but yeah, not sure if they're going to be able to overcome the very strong season that Jeremy Mercer has put down. Taking a quick look at the track map just before we jump into this qualifying session. Like I said, we're at Monza. You go down a long straight, you do a little wiggle, you do it a little another. I mean, Ilpo, am I crazy, or is this kind of just a boring track? From a driver's point of view, is it a boring driving track, even if it's going to give us amazing racing tonight?
I would say that depends a little bit on what you are driving. I do feel like it's, especially with the physics of ACC not allowing you to really use the curbs that much, it's a little bit of a boring track just for driving, but it does create quite intensive battles because there are long straights, so as long as you can stay in that close range to get the toe on a straight, it is possible to do things much more than a lot of other tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, the Ascari, that Sector 3 left chicane, probably one of the most interesting features of this track. Otherwise, yeah, you got some chicanes. You've got the Parabolica at the end. Let's kick it over to the race scene. Our drivers are on track now, so as always, in this qualifying session, our silver drivers are first out on track. They will have 10 minutes in which to set their best qualifying laps, after which the gold drivers will get their opportunity to go out and make some improvement on their times. Daddy Doug leading the way, as always, with that enviable first position in the pit lane, getting out on track in that beautiful Gulf liveried Lexus GT3 car. Number 10 representing, coming down the start-finish straight to begin his first flying lap, and we might as well hang out on board with him for a little bit. Click the interior cam. So big braking zone into this first chicane. Of course, this is, like I said, the D1 stream. These guys are all professionals. They have very good instincts racing side by side. We're not expecting any huge incidents going into turn 1 on this occasion. If you're looking for maybe some additional action, maybe some interesting lap 1s, we do, of course, as always, have our Division 1 and Division 5 streams live at this moment over on the YouTube channel. Go check those out, but, also stay here because this is the main show. This is where the best action is going to be. Daddy Doug doing well, coming here through the Lesmo 1 and 2, using up all the track advantage, track widths on the outside of the exit of that second right-hander. Coming here under the bridge, going to be hard on the brakes, taking advantage of all of the curbing on the inside of the left-hander, over those sausage curbs on the left and the right, and even more on that final left hand. That Lexus, I don't know about the suspension on this car, Ilpo. You drive it, you can tell me, but that looked pretty bouncy for Doug there.
I think most cars tend to be a little bit bouncy there. Some of the cars can fully mount the curb so that the raised part goes between the tires and just glide over it. It is generally very risky, so you would only really do it in qualifying, and only certain cars can do it, but it is possible, at least in some cars.
All right. So our first time laps are coming in. Daddy Doug at the top with a 147.2 for the time being. Just taking a quick peek over at our practice leaderboards, just to give the folks at home an idea of what kind of lap times we're going to be seeing. So our top silver driver, at least on the practice server, is Mr. Roy Key, driving a Lexus. Surprise, surprise, a 146.3 for him. I don't see him on the list. I don't think he's attending, so let's go on to Our other top silver driver, this is the man who is currently P2 in the overall standings, Guy Manperson. His first flying lap, a 147.150. His top time in the practice server, a 146.3, but not in his main car, so maybe disregard that. Everybody's setting times in the Lexus. What?
Also, you have to disregard all the Lexus times because
Yeah.
the leaderboard doesn't reset when the BOP gets changed.
Oh,
So
excellent call. Okay, so that's going to totally throw off my whole script. So yeah, so Thiago Janarte had the best time on the leaderboard of 145.7, but you're right, that was pre-BOP adjustment. And yeah,
yes,
it's completely
so
irrelevant.
looking at the leaderboard, considering all the Lexus times are almost certainly before the BOP change, it is actually looking very good for Jeremy Mercer because of all the non-Lexus cars, his time was the best.
Ah, so that's Jeremy Mercer in the Ferrari 488 Evo. Absolutely, a driver to keep an eye on. Our silver champion, of course, Eric Marecki, going to have to give him an excess of attention and love in this race, was top of this qualifying session for a second with a 146.952, but immediately overtaken by Joel Klaus in the Maritime Quasar Lamborghini, a 146.447, which is starting to get up to those top times on the practice leaderboard. The Lamborghini looking feisty at this track. Keeping an eye out on our deltas just to see who might be on for a bit of an improvement. Eric Marecki, a couple tenths up on his delta. Joel Moffitt also doing well on this lap. Might as well stay on board with this beautiful Le Mans liveried inspired Ferrari 296. It's a great car. It holds a special place in my heart, but maybe not one where we'd be expecting the toppest of top speeds, which on this track could become a liability. Might as well take the time to give some attention to the chat. We see them all. As always, we got Iris in the chat. We got Jez, the man, the manager himself. Coach Jeffries saying hello in chat. Is that Diego I see in chat and not on track? We might have to have words after this, sir. I did miss last week because of connection issues. You raced the one race that I don't stream. Hard not to take it personal. I'm not going to hold it against you. Joel Moffitt improving up to P5, but immediately demoted down to P6, a 146.992. Marecki had improved up to a 146.690. We've got 12 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock, which will give these drivers, I'm going to say, perhaps only two more laps. We got time for 2 more laps, I believe, for most of these silver drivers. 2 more opportunities to claw their way up the board. Guy Manperson was on for a big improvement for a second. He was about 2 tenths up, exiting the second Lesmo, but through Ascari, that advantage has washed away. Less than a tenth on the Delta. He's gonna have to go again, unfortunately. Am I looking at the...
It's looking surprisingly close. From P3 to P12 is within a tenth and a half.
Yeah, so from Simons to Manperson. Super tight, super competitive grid. I guess that gives the opportunity to shout out the BOP team, doing a great job as always. Speaking of cars that we expect to do very well over the curbing, we might as well take the time to look at Jack Krause. One of the only, actually, in this race, he's the only Mercedes driver out on track, well over the curb on the left, straddling the curb on the right, and as he finished, oh yeah, I think that's the line you were talking about, Ilpo. He was all the way over to the left through that last part of Ascari. So Joel Klaus, provisional pole, has decided he put in enough laps, doesn't need any more. A 1:46.447 now the time to beat for the rest of our silver drivers. Colin Dunham going to see what he can get done in that Madhouse Racing McLaren. Starting his final flying lap. Coming through Curva Grande into the start of Sector 2. Not seeing a whole bunch of improvements on the Delta. Perhaps the tires already going away from these silver drivers. You know, I don't know if it's true to say or if it's just a placebo, but I feel like after, you know, maybe 6, 7, 8 minutes of a qualifying session, I feel like the best rubber of a tire is kind of consumed, and after a certain point, especially on a hot track, maybe not a whole lot of pace left to find on that last lap. Guy Manperson, though, is finding heaps of time, so as he starts the third sector here, 3.5 tenths up on the Delta, well over the curbing on the left and the right, and the left again. Plenty of space in front, so not going to be held up by the BMW ahead. Really, the only driver besides him and Aiden Burke is also 2 tenths up, so we're going to stay on board Guy Manperson. The final time around the Parabolica, keeping it well within track limits, trying to put the power down, but losing some of that Delta. He's got about 1/10 of a second as he crosses the line. It'll be enough to see him up to P4, but I'm sure he'll be left thinking about what could have been. Aiden Burke in the Nissan, you love to see it. Group 5 Godzilla, Red Eye Racing, and TSE. Himself about 4 tenths up on the Delta and trying to put the power down. This will be our final silver lap. And as he comes across the line, improving from 14th all the way up to 9th. An incredible clutch performance. Well done, Mr. Aiden Burke. All right, as we start now with our gold drivers. So leading the way, is that Kevin Blanchett? It is, in the New World Sim Racing Daddy's Lexus. We got that lovely grass green livery representing the SRA GT3 Team Series logo on the side of the car. Coming around, starting his first flying lap. Taking a look. You can't really see it because the dash is kind of weird, but yeah, still. I was going to try to get a peek of what his top speed down the start-finish straight was, but suffice to say, it's going to be fast.
His top speed was the same 283 kph as all the other Lexuses so far.
And I mean, so how does that compare to maybe the second fastest non-Lexus car? What kind of speed disparity are we talking here?
So the Nissan did 281.
Oh yeah, gotta love the Nissan.
BMW clocked in at 279, and then there are multiple cars around the 277-ish area. So the Lexus does have, I would say, like 5 kph on most cars.
Yeah, add in a base pace advantage plus a slipstream, and we might see some straight line overtakes, depending on the starting position of these Lexus drivers. We've got Kevin Blanchett, followed closely on track by Anton Rushevich there in P2. Michael Menning is on track. I feel like we need a notification system, maybe a Twitter account to say, is Michael Menning racing tonight? Yes, absolutely. Here he is on track. Kevin Blanchett crossing the line, a 147.587 as his first flying lap. Anton Rushevich, 146.787 for his first lap, already up into provisional P4, followed closely behind by Jeff Spangler, provisional P5 already. You were saying, Ilpo, some of the faster non-Lexus times on the leaderboard. I feel like it must be mentioned we had Ryan Yee putting in a time with this same non-Evo version of the McLaren, a 146.155, potentially the time bracket that we would see from Michael Menning. His first lap must have been invalid. No time on the board yet. Still plenty of time, 5.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. Looking back up top, Omar Escorcia stealing provisional P4 from Anton Rushevich with a 146.735, just a half a tenth separating himself and his fellow Lexus driver. Gonna see if he can hold on to that advantage. He's got an Audi right up behind him. Is that Tim Flamger? Yes, it is. In that that is a Corvette themed yellow Audi livery. Whoa, and that car looks active over that exit curb. Nice save. Tim Flamger must have been a baseball player growing up, because that was a great catch on his part.
Yeah, unfortunately that invalidated the lap. He still has no lap time, and he's not gonna have one after this lap, so it's crunch time.
Oh, but one man who does have a lap time, Anton Rushevich, with his second flying lap already up into provisional pole. That's not going to be the way to get a fast time, going well deep into the first chicane. 4 minutes left on the clock, so he's got a time for a couple more, but this lap is scrubbed. Previous lap, though, a 146.425. Iris going crazy in the chat, cheering on Mr. Rushevich, already up into provisional pole ahead of his fellow Gold Lexus drivers Kelvin Lau and Andrew Rados, currently representing P3 and 4 overall. Peter O'Brien, our other Nissan driver, and as Ilpo has reported, the second fastest car in a straight line on the grid, a 146.565. Definitely a great lap out of him, and definitely still some time for improvement. The best Sector 3 of all of these drivers, Peter O'Brien in the Nissan.
Yeah, I think that's because the Nissan is pretty strong on straights. It will lose on the main straight, where the Lexus can really stretch its legs, but on the back straight, which is a little bit shorter, I would say the cars are pretty much equal, and the Nissan generally accelerates really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a little bit better through Ascari, so I'm not surprised it's very strong in Sector 3. Now, very critically for the team championship, Mercer is only in P8 currently, and Nixon is in P20, while Rados is in P4. Unfortunately for him, Blanchett is only in P22, so this is not great for having a swap in the championship, but it is still quite possible.
Indeed. Still plenty of time, though. 2 minutes left on the board. That's 2 flying laps for probably all of the final gold drivers who are making their way through Parabolica right now.
Pole, I think.
Peter O'Brien with 3/10 on the Delta, crossing the line, as Ilpo called it, half of a tenth over Jeff Spangler in the Godzilla Nissan. He'll love to see it. Peter O'Brien had some early struggles on this season. You know, not a great car, not an easy car to get along with. But yeah, doing well. Anton Rushevich, though, responding to the challenge. He's about a tenth and a half down from Peter O'Brien's previous best time, and starting Sector 3 here has essentially that on the Delta, trying to make up the time and get back his provisional pole position.
Rados is also up a lot.
Rados up about a tenth. Yeah, losing it. Must have not gotten a great exit from the previous turn. Anton Rushevich making his way through the final turn. Parabolica putting the power down. Not great. Actually, hard to tell from the Delta. It's hanging out at about a 10th. I don't know if this is going to be the lap he wanted, only improving up to P4. Our top 5 drivers separated by less than a 10th. Peter O'Brien, Jeff Spangler, Renato Dornelles in that beautiful purple McLaren. You love to see it. P3 provisionally. Looking over at race control, we do have Jeremy Mercer coming around the final turn. A big improvement on the Delta. Hang on, hold on to your butts. This might be, and it almost is, P2 missing out on pole by 1/100th of a second. We'll have time for one more flying lap, but Jeremy Mercer heard Ilpo putting down the challenge. He says, okay, I'll get on the front row, at least for now. Taking a lot of curb through the first chicane. Gonna suffer on the Delta because of that. Maybe this final lap won't be enough. One driver who is improving, Anton Rushevich, has almost 0.2 of a second on the Delta. And now through Ascari, doing well to keep it together and has now over 0.2 on the Delta. This could be Anton Rushevich, if he can keep it together through the Parabolica, onto the front row of the grid. Jeremy Mercer's pulled it back into the pits, so has Dornelles and Dinarte. Michael Menning currently sitting down in P12 on his final flying lap. Anton Rushevich crossing the line, though, and blows Peter O'Brien's time out of the water. A 1:46.067 takes provisional pole by 0.2 of a second. Who is this man and how does he do it? Got Omar Escorcia here about 1/4 of a second up on his Delta. Michael Menning as well right behind him. A big improvement on the board. Escorcia losing a bit of time through that final stab at Parabolica. No improvement there. Michael Menning up into P4. Well done to him. And this session is over. Rushevich from O'Brien, from Spangler, from Menning. Mercer, Dornelles, Dinarte, Rados, Mr. Sir, John Laz, rounding out your top 10. So, let us take a moment before this race gets underway. We have to thank, for the final time this season, our community sponsors, supporters, and title sponsors. These are the lovely men and women of the community who have taken a little bit of time, a little bit of money out of their wallets and given it to the cause, helping out with the operational costs here at SRA. Thank you to each and every one of these fine individuals, and thank you to Jay Queasy for providing us with our sponsor read.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT 3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
All right, thank you as always, Jay Queasy, for taking the heavy lifting away from us commentators, doing the sponsor read for us. Our D1 drivers are here out on their formation lap, just getting their tires warmed up and ready to take the flying start. We got here Mr. Anton Rushevich in the disc qualified Daft Punk themed Lexus. Might as well take the opportunity to appreciate our beautiful liveries for the final time this season. We've got Jeff Spangler in the HKS Lexus, Michael Menning, that beautiful, is it Benson and Hedges? Yeah. Themed non-Evo McLaren. So interestingly, Ilpo, you were talking about the team championship. Jeremy Mercer here, P5 on the grid. His his competitors, the New World Sim Racing Daddies. Andrew Rados, the top qualifier from that team, P8. Kevin Blanchett down in P17, followed right behind by Jordan Nixon, who will be starting right behind him from P19. So I guess as far as qualifying goes, things are looking up for this Ferrari 488 TSE team.
Yeah. If nothing major happens, I think the team championship is looking like it's gonna go to TSE. I think the more interesting thing is that the three contenders for the Gold Drivers' Championship are Mercer, Donnells, and Dinarte.
Ooh.
And they are consecutive starting positions.
Starting P5, 6, and 7 on the grid, so we will definitely have to keep an eye on that. I'm thinking race start, we got to be on board with Jeremy Mercer just to keep an eye on that turn 1 for him. We've got Mr. Sir, of course, the long-suffering teammate of Mr. Michael Menning, doing well for himself, qualifying P9 in that Marlboro McLaren liveried non-Evo 720. Great result for him. I think this might be one of his best qualifying results of the season. Hopefully he can keep it together for this race. Got John Laz here in that Williams liveried Ferrari 296, our top 296 driver on the grid, actually, compared to some of the other 296s, Moffitt and Queso down in P28 and P30. John Laz, this was an excellent qualifying session for the 296 driver. Got our, I believe this is the Hoonigan livery themed Mustang, the Restrictor Victor, Gomer Wilson, P12, his teammate Dan Cran in P16. Some of these camera angles are killing me. I'm trying to get a few of the liveries. Oh, we got the McDonald's McLaren, the Macamaca. Got Guy Manperson, that beautiful blue car. Doug Mitchell in the Gulf livery, but we are on to the start-finish straight. Clicking on to the Helicam as our drivers crawl their way up to the start-finish line, drag those brakes, get a little turbo boost built up, and as we approach the line, waiting for the green flag to wave.
Green light, go, go, go.
We are off for the final time in this 15th season here at Monza. Division 1 taking us away. We've got Dinarte already side by side on the straight with Dornells, looking to get an overlap with Mercer as well, but Mercer deep on the brakes will maintain the position. A little bit of bumping. That's Mr. Sir around. We'll lose a couple positions. Is that Anton? No, Anton Rushevich turned completely around. He got it straightened out, and he'll be P12. Michael Menning, get out of the way. What is going on there? Choosing to lift, I suppose. I'm trying to get a handle.
I think he felt that he was responsible for some of the contact there and wanted to keep the position.
Okay.
I do think Peter O'Brien gave a tap to Anton on entry to turn 1.
Pit window is open.
And then Anton got really sideways and got hit again, trying to recover from it.
Oh, so
that was all the mayhem.
O'Brien starting on the second row down to P15. Rushevich starting from the front row down in P12. So now Jeff Spangler inherits the lead, followed closely behind Jeremy Mercer. Renato Dornell's P2. Rados losing out the position, potentially side by side now with the belly of Denarte, who spins on the exit of Ascari, and it's carnage behind. That was Kelvin Lau also getting caught up in that battle. We see Kevin Blanchette falling down the order. We've got a slow car on track. Joel Klaus, please get out of the way. What on earth? So Peter O'Brien and Thiago Denarte just straight returning to garage. That's the overall championship hopes of Thiago Denarte shattered. This is now a two-man race between Jeremy Mercer and Renato Dornell, is currently sitting P2 and P3, but a disaster for most of our top contenders. We've got Menning down in P32. We've got Blanchette has returned to garage. O'Brien has returned to the garage. Escorts, yeah, go ahead.
There was some kind of incident on the straight after they crossed the start-finish line.
I
lap.
tried to hit the replay. We're just getting the tail end of it there. That's Rushevich sideways with Mr. Sir, who's parked up against the wall.
I think there were like 4 or 5 cars involved in that incident. Some of them RTG'd immediately.
Oh my lord is right. So we've got Mr. Sir, Anton Rushevich, Michael Menning. They're all just in the pits. This is a disaster of a race. I think I jinxed it. I said this was going to be the good race. And
so
yeah, go ahead.
I think this has pretty much already decided the team championship, because Mercer is in P2, Nixon is in P10.
Yes.
Rados is in P5, but
Blanchette's in the pit
unfortunately
lane.
Blanchette had to go pit for repairs after just 1 lap. He did actually drive to the pit lane, so he didn't lose completely out. But he's probably going to be in blue flag hell.
Yes. Yeah, if not, depending on how much damage he has, he might just exit the pits a lap down behind the lead group already. Oh, so we've got...
Yeah, he's just coming out from the pits. He's already a lap down.
Oh, jeez. So Kelvin Lau close up behind Eric Marecki on this straight. The power of the Lexus. He's going to try to step out to the right and get an overlap. No, Eric Marecki too strong on the brakes. Our silver winner in P7 as it stands. Got Guy Manperson racing hard with Omar Escorcia, who made the move up into P11 now for Escorcia. Jeff Spangler not quite able to run away with this race. Jeremy Mercer keeping it within a second ahead. Renato Dornelles has been dropped a bit. The gap between P2 and P3 now 1.2 seconds. Kelvin Lau still battling with Marecki. Oh, the long-suffering Arced, our D2 winner from last season, has also RTG'd, or maybe is just pitting for tires. We'll have to keep an eye out on him, but that's a fan favorite right there. We hope gets back out into the race. I think I saw some damage on the hood of that BMW. Oh, no.
I believe Arced has RTG'd. He's been stationary for over 1.5 minutes.
Oh, man. Gomer Wilson now Looking racy with Andrew Rados. This is a battle for P5 and 6. Hard onto the brakes into the Parabolica. The Lexus will retain the position. Gomer Wilson looking for the over-under, but not able to get it turned at the apex. Dan Cran also battling with Alexis himself. The Mustang versus Lexus fights are on. Kelvin Lau, though, coming off the better in that instance. P8 for him. Omar Escorcia side by side with Jordan Nixon, who, if I was Nixon, I would have no reason to battle here. Whoa, Escorcia going deep, overlap with the Mustang ahead. He gets it slowed down somehow. That was a move from way back that I don't think he intended to do, but it will give him P9 or 10, showing P9 in race control for Omar Escorcia. He couldn't have meant to do that.
Yeah. That didn't look very intentional. I think the Mustang had to brake early because of a car in front, and just decided that discretion is the better part of Valorant, just to stay alive. In the meanwhile, unfortunately, Jack Krause had a little bit of an incident and fell all the way to the back. And of the guys who had to pit early for repairs, Blanchett is out. He spent about 30 seconds repairing plus his normal pit stop. Anderson had 2 minutes stationary time. Arc 2 minutes stationary. Moffat 2 minutes and 47 seconds stationary. So they all had very severe damage.
Oh, jeez, you hate to see it. Some McLaren on McLaren action here. This is Colin Dunham right up behind Max Simons. Well in the slipstream. Simons going defensive into the Parabolica side by side. Dunham's brave on the brakes. Almost looked like he was going to try to hang it around the outside, but Simons will retain the position at least for now. Back now onto the start-finish straight. Starting our 5th lap here. Again, Simons going defensive. Dunham taking the left-hand side and into the braking zone for the first chicane. Simons just that little bit braver with the inside advantage, hanging on to P15 for now. Action at the front. Spangler pulling a little bit of a gap. It was a half a second last time we checked in on these guys. The gap now about a second, so Mercer has dropped out of slipstream range. Potentially, the Lexus will now be pulling away with that straight line advantage. Dornells, if the camera will show him, still there in P3, about a second back from Mercer himself. But this front group has dropped the rest of the grid. John Laz P4, 6 seconds back from P3. This has become a 3-man race at the front.
Firekeso got overtaken by Burke.
Let's see if we can get a replay. Oh, nope, we couldn't. Sorry. That was into the second chicane. Perhaps Burke just a little bit stronger on the brakes. We'll make an adjustment to the race control formulas. I saw.
Marek is spun on the exit of Ascari.
Uh-oh. Now we're going to get the replay. Let's click the button.
I think Flamger also had some kind of issue there.
So not
I don't know if they're
really
related or
in
not.
trouble, just kind of on his own. Way too much of that sausage, and that would be severe rear end damage for that McLaren of Marecki. That is going to have to be an immediate pit stop for repairs. So, thankfully, as we said, he entered this race. It was already locked up, and a good thing, because now that is basically going to be Eric Marecki's race done for. We've got Dan. I have no idea what's going on there. Dan Cran has picked up a drive-through penalty for an incident at the first chicane. We had foam safety barriers just absolutely destroyed. What kind of cut? Oh, he's just too deep on the brakes, and yeah, that will do it. So the game says he cut the track.
Oh yeah, he couldn't.
Way too much. He couldn't stop.
Slow down.
And
He
so,
was on the grass, so he couldn't slow down enough to avoid the penalty.
yeah, I mean, he gave all the positions back. Fair play to him, but the game says, I don't care. Drive-through penalty. Dan Cran, that is race over for our restrictor Victor. Shame on, not shame on anybody, just unlucky. He must have just missed his braking spot.
In the front, John Else is catching to Mercer.
Yeah.
The gap is now less than a second.
Yeah, so looking ahead, 0.6 on race control. I see on your minimap we've got car number 949. That's Kevin Blanchette. Looks like he's just clearing out of the way. He is blue flagged to all of these drivers behind.
I do believe he's spun coming out from
Oh,
Ascari.
jeez.
He was stopped sideways on the track.
I was trying to be nice, but yeah, not a great race for Mr. Blanchette. Jeremy Mercer here, P2. Dan Cran will come in for that mandatory drive-through. Might as well get it over and done with ASAP. Gomer Wilson doing well to keep hold of Andrew Rados. This is a battle for P5 and 6 on track. Gomer Wilson trying to show that the Mustang still a good car, still viable in top split despite the BOP, as we've got Austin Carpenter going side by side with Wilson Fernandez. I believe that is an overtake on track for Fernandez. Fair play to our other Brazilian driver.
Looking at the way some of these drivers are running wide on the corner exits, I would not be very surprised if there are some track limit issues later on in this race.
Potentially. So, just looking at, so, you know, our top two drivers in the point standings, of course, we've got Jeremy Mercer and Dornelles. Mercer doesn't have to do anything crazy. If he can finish, well, if he gets passed by Dornelles, he could still finish in third place and still win the overall championship. He wouldn't be able to lose any more positions, so Mercer has to maintain P2 or 3 in this race, and that will be a shoo-ey for the 488 Ferrari driver. Our first new winner in 3 seasons. Of course, respect to our current race leader, Jeff Spangler, the back-to-back 2-time champion. He switched up cars for this season. Of course, the faithful McLaren driver representing the Lexus for the first time. If you needed any more proof that this car was overpowered, I think that's it. The fastest driver in the McLaren thinks that he's going to be better in the Lexus. I don't know. You tell me.
If you want to do a replay, go flanger like 20 seconds.
Oops. Looking there, side by side with Colin Dunham into turn 1. That's Marecki ahead off track. What's...
He's a lap down. He's just staying out.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a good try by Tim, but didn't quite work.
Speaking of a good try, this is S. Garcia, P8, going for Pete's... He's going for and being gifted P7 by Kelvin Lau. I thought we were going to get some action there, but Kelvin Lau doing the gentlemanly thing, I suppose, and letting his fellow Lexus driver blow right by. Not sure what happened there.
I think he just lifted. I mean, if you think the other guy is significantly faster, are you really gonna defend your position for 45 minutes straight? Probably not.
Fair enough. That is true. So S. Garcia, he did have a very worse than average qualifying result. He definitely is faster than that position would indicate. So yeah, P7 now and looking to get a little bit more. Speaking of looking to get a little bit more progress through the field, Jordan Nixon deep on the brakes into turn 1, almost clips the back of S. Garcia. Does well to avoid that. That was almost an overtake for P8. but Nixon having to back out at the last minute in order to avoid a collision. Now dropping well back from Kelvin Lau. You can't even see him on the inside shot. Let's get the bonnet cam. So yeah, the gap ahead now to Kelvin Lau, 1.1 seconds. Jordan Nixon going to have to put in a little bit of work if he wants to make that back up and make a second attempt for that position.
There's a little bit of a train forming behind P12. I'm not sure how Klaus fell that far, being that he was
Well, so we saw
at the
him
top of Silvers.
lap 1, going through the second sector. I think he was lifting because maybe he hit somebody, and I remember seeing him in the middle of the track going very slow for some reason.
But he's definitely faster than the cars in front, so
Oh yeah.
this is a train that we need to be watching.
Yeah, so that's from P12 Max Simons, who has a 3-second gap ahead of him to Doug Mitchell, but behind him we've got 5 cars. Okay, so never mind. Max Simons made a mistake going through Ascari, which will gift the position to Colin Dunham. Tim Flamger not close enough to take advantage. Might as well try to click the replay to see what happened there to Simons. Perhaps just a little bit too much curb. Oh yeah, on the right-hander. Actually, that was an amazing save by Simons to stay out of the wall and stay in this race. P13, only 1 spot lost after what could have been a race-ending mistake.
Yeah, that's a really good decision to just go straight and cut the corner and not try to make it. If he tried to turn when the car is bouncing that much, it would be very likely that he would crash.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, as you said, Joel Klaus potentially faster than the drivers ahead and looking hungry for some positions. Dornell's still just barely within slipstream range of the car ahead. Race control showing a delta of 0.7 seconds to Jeremy Mercer ahead. Gomer Wilson still right up behind Andrew Rados. Hasn't been able to make the overtake happen as of yet. 42 minutes left in this race. Potentially this is the point in the race where, as the Mustang, if you can't get the job done on track, maybe you start thinking about pit strategy. Is this about the time where you would think about doing an undercut?
I would maybe wait 1 or 2 laps, just so that you don't have to drive on terrible tires at the end that much. I think if there's someone who should be considering undercut, I think that's Klaus, because he's clearly faster than the cars in front. And unfortunately, with the Lamborghini, he's never gonna overtake anyone on this track. So I think he should pit, not this but next lap, just to clear the traffic, get ahead of.
So
that's
Flamger.
interesting.
Yeah.
That is very surprising. Normally you never pit when you're the slower car in front of someone.
Tim Flamger bucking the trend, maybe a preemptive defensive undercut. You know, maybe he thought, oh, Klaus is thinking that same thing. If I go in, he won't be able to do it at the same time. So we'll see how that plays out for him at the end of the race. Jordan Nixon.
I'm not sure what happened, but Donnell's has fallen off Mercer. The gap is almost 2 seconds.
1.8 on race control. You see it on your screen there. Renato Dornell's not sure if a mistake was made or if a tactical decision was made, but either way, given a little breathing room to Jeremy Mercer, giving him the opportunity potentially to launch an attack. He's made up ground, Mercer has, on Spangler. The gap you see on screen there, less than a second for the first time in a little while. Spangler going wide on the exit of Ascari. He's got to start thinking about speed coupons here. Jordan Nixon, we saw earlier, going deep on the brakes, needing to avoid an incident, has caught back up to the Lexus of Kelvin Lau. 2/10 on the Delta. This won't be the opportunity for an overtake going into Parabolica, but into the next turn 1 chicane, we're going to keep the camera on Jordan Nixon just to see, is this the opportunity for the Ferrari 488 driver to take P8 from that HKS liveried Lexus GT3 car. Kelvin Lau not going defensive, going to stay left, given the opportunity to Jordan Nixon. If he's braver on the brakes, this will be the opportunity. Ferrari 488 looking strong, and into turn one, Kelvin Lau says, yeah, that's no sense in fighting. This is a championship contender in the team championship. Jordan Nixon, now P8 in this race. Well done and fair play to both drivers. We've got some more drivers coming into the pits. Danny Durance. We had Gomer Wilson, still right up behind that Lexus. Didn't pit on previous occasion as we had expected. Has been caught. You see there the gap behind. P6 to P7. Wilson to Escorcia. About 0.6 of a second. Escorcia, with that bad qualifying performance, it's not holding him back at all. He is still charging through this field. P7 already got his eyes on P6. Simons, who we saw make a mistake earlier through Ascari, has caught back up to Colin Dunham ahead. Some potential for action here we'll have to keep an eye on. We've got Danny Durance coming out of the pits, showing P19 on your screen there, or P21 depending on which part of the screen you're looking at. But this is now, of the drivers who have pit, our top driver, just ahead of Tim Flamger potentially. No. There it goes. Okay, so it updated after the sector time. So Tim Flamger, P19, ahead of Wilson Fernandez, Danny Durance, Fire Queso. Gomer Wilson has now come into the pits. Hopefully, this will be his opportunity to get past Andrew Rados, who has continued on. Omar Escorcia, though, with the purple lap of this race on the last lap, a 147.067. This man is flying and will potentially have to respond to that undercut from Gomer Wilson.
And that was, by the way, a purple lap by slightly over 0.3 of a second. That's impressive. Although he does have the toe from the car in front, but that's still very impressive.
Yeah. So before pit stops, at least, we've got Daddy Douglas Mitchell, Papa Doug, the two-time Papa Doug. Now, P10 in the Lexus. You love to see it. He doesn't yet have a train formed up behind him, but there's still plenty of time left in this race. We'll wait to see what happens there. Escorcia and Rados navigating their way through Ascari into the Parabolica. And we will see if either of these drivers will be responding to the early pit stop of Gomer Wilson. It looks like Andrew Rados hugging to the right, perhaps indicating that he will. Yes, so Andrew Rados into the pits right away, needs to respond to Gomer Wilson's strategy. Omar Escorcia continuing on, 147.4 on that last lap, so he will have to put down some absolutely flying laps if he intends to stay out on track any longer. We've seen it multiple times this season. The driver who tries to stay out on track longer on old tires before that first pit stop, it just hasn't been working out for these guys.
Yeah, it's generally undercutting is the better option. I understand why he stayed out here, because you don't want to do the same thing as the car in front. If you consider the braking into the pit speed limit line, the car in front has to be at the pit limit speed when it crosses the line. So if you're right behind them, you're going to have to be at that speed even earlier, otherwise you're going to hit them. So pitting right behind another car is extremely disadvantageous. You tend to lose like half a second doing it.
Yeah, so last lap wouldn't have been the time for Escorcia. He definitely would have lost time if he had tried to come in behind Anton. But this will be the time to do it if there is a time. Renato Dornelles did perform his one mandatory pit stop for tires, so it'll be interesting to see if Mercer or Spangler will respond to that stop. Spangler here, the first to have the opportunity to pit, carries on. Not afraid at all. Jeremy Mercer will pit though, so this is, of course, our championship battle. Dornelles versus Mercer. Mercer responding to the undercut. Omar Escorcia not responding to the drivers around him who had pit for tires. A 147.5 on that last lap. We'll have to keep track of some of the times that will be recorded by Rados and Wilson on this, what will be their first full flying lap after tires. Let's see if we can find. So here's Dornelles navigating his way through sector 3 at the moment. We will see where Mercer comes out in relation. Still bolting on that fresh set of rubber as Renato Dornelles breaks into the braking zone for the Parabolica. Mercer down off the air jacks and moving. Renato Dornelles coming around. Well, it's gonna be tight. Jeremy Mercer just now getting off the limiter, and as we see, here comes Dornelles, but into the braking zone of turn 1. He will be there. Here comes Mercer, but Dornelles is not close enough, not able to get it done on pit strategy alone. Will have to settle, at least for now, for staying behind the Ferrari 488 of Jeremy Mercer. Got Spangler coming around Parabolica. Gonna see if he comes into the pits, hanging to the right, looking like he might, and indeed he does. So our next driver that we'll have to see, Omar Escorcia. So we were talking about lap times, so here we go. Okay, so Omar Escorcia will be responding to Gomer Wilson and Andrew Rados. So Gomer Wilson's last lap, a 147.532, as compares to Omar Escorcia, a 147, I believe it was 147.5 or 6, which got replaced on my race control because he crossed the line in the pits. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on Escorcia as he comes out of the pits. Jeff Spangler in pits. Escorcia. Carpenter continuing on in our other Corvette liveried Audi. Super confusing. The American flag on the front of the German car. But if it works for you, it works for me. Dan Cran continuing on as well. Jeff Spangler has finished his mandatory pit stop, is now exiting the pits. Jeremy Mercer will be coming down the start-finish straight, but I don't think... Well, it'd be too soon to say. Here comes Jeremy Mercer. You see him on your screen there, into the braking zone for the first chicane, and no, Jeff Spangler will maintain P1 in this race. So at least for our top 3, absolutely nothing changed after pit stops. Spangler from Mercer from Dornelles. John Laz hanging on to provisional P4. Andrew Rados ahead of Escorcia, who I believe, if memory serves, Gomer Wilson losing out to Escorcia on pit strategy? Was there a difference there in time stopped?
Let's see. Not a significant difference. Something happened with Flamger.
Oh no! My Flamger! Deep through the first chicane. Gonna try to get a quick replay. See what happened. So this is on the... Oh, it's the 0TC Audi for one final time this season. Just on corner exit, putting the power down a little bit too aggressively. Tim Flamger losing, I believe, 3 positions to Klaus Fernandez and Dunham's, now down in P18. Gomer Wilson, despite losing the position to Escorcia, still right up behind him. The gap 0.7 of a second, as you see on your screen. From the bonnet cam, still well within the slipstream of the Lexus ahead, hoping to get drug up a bit back to P7. So actually, another, I'd call it significant change. So the gap from Rados to Escorcia before the pit stops was less than a second. Right now on race control it's showing 1.4 seconds. Andrew Rados, maybe with a quicker pit stop, putting in a little bit of a gap from the Lexus behind.
Yeah, so the stop time is identical for Rados and Escorcia, but the overall time in the pit lane is slightly shorter for Rados. So I think he just got a better start from the pit box or something, or maybe Escorcia might have overslowed slightly on the entry or something.
Yeah, or I mean, personally, I'm always a little bit too tentative on the brakes into my box. I don't want to overshoot my box, but then I'm too slow, and it's like, I lose a lot of time in my pit stops, personally. The Simons train continues. This is Joel Klaus in the Lamborghini. Gained a couple positions on the pit stop. Currently sitting P14 right up behind the rear end of this Macca's Run 720 Evo. We'll have to keep an eye on how this train progresses, but this is 4 drivers, Simons, Klaus, Fernandez, and Dunham, battling for P13 through 16 on track. Mercer right up behind Spangler, 3/10 the gap. I don't imagine that the 488 will be able to make an overlap into turn 1, but Jeremy Mercer's not content just for the championship points. He wants a race win, hunting down Jeff Spangler.
Mercer's top speed is actually slightly faster than Spangler's because of the toe. Also, as an interesting fact, the highest top speed is shared between the Lexuses and the Maccas. I think the Macca benefits from the slipstream even more than a lot of the other cars.
Yeah, definitely a very slippy car in a straight line at least, even if it is down on power compared to the roaring V8 Lexus.
Klaus.
What is Klaus? Quick replay as he bashes through the foam into the braking zone of turn 1. Oh, it was the car behind. That's Fernandez. A little too deep on the brakes. Just barely clips that rear spoiler of the Lamborghini, looping Klaus around. It goes from bad to worse for Mr. Klaus, down now in P16. Navigating a little blue flag traffic there, but has been dropped from the back of that train that was forming ahead. Simons a little bit of breathing room now from Dunham. Fernandez was doing the gentlemanly thing, waiting for Klaus to get back around, has dropped to P19. Close battle here still. Spangler on Mercer. Nothing doing into turn 1. Another tight battle on track. We saw it there for a second. This is Kurt LeMay defending from Danny Durance, the other Macca's Run 720 Evo, into the braking zone of Parabolica. The McLaren looking like it was almost going to try to get an overlap. Guy Manperson, speaking of overlaps, was that a bump draft? Did he just tap the back of that like Guy Manperson BMW down the straight? What is going on with these guys? So this is P10 and 11 we see on screen now. Guy Manperson not quite having to defend from Kelvin Lau for that final top 10 spot. 25 minutes left in this race. Kurt LeMay has almost gotten around Danny Durance. Race control showed he was side by side into the braking zone of turn 1. I think we've got time to click a replay and see what's going on here. Yeah, just doing a good job keeping it respectful. Had the advantage, but the Porsche... How does the Porsche get back around from this position? No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. The Porsche looked like it was ahead for a second, but the McLaren maintained the position. That's what I saw on race control. So far, still all's right with the world between Danny Durance and Kurt LeMay. Escorcia has retaken the purple lap in this race. I don't know if he ever lost it, but he has reset it now, a 146.902. His last lap, a 146.952. So the only driver currently lapping in the 146s, and has done it twice in the process of hunting down Andrew Rados. The gap we saw after the pits was about 1.5 seconds, has now been reduced to just 0.2 of a second. And into the braking zone of turn 1, this will be the first opportunity for Omar Escorcia to be brave on the brakes. Oh, no contact at the apex. Escorcia taps Rados because he got flicked a little bit outward by that sausage curb. And, I mean, he did well to try to keep it tight to the apex, but just because of the size and the violence of the hit on the curb, Escorcia projected out into Andrew Rados, who as a result drops down now into P11. Escorcia losing a couple positions as well, and potentially now has a penalty coming. You hate to see it. Our fastest driver in this race not having much luck trying to make overtakes happen.
Mercer's trying really hard to get Spangler.
He's pushing that Ferrari as fast as it will go. But just even deep into the slipstream, that Lexus just a little too quick in a straight line. Mercer tight up on his bumper through Parabolica. But I think what we're going to see in this occasion is the same thing we've seen on all occasions. That Lexus just barely powerful enough to avoid any sort of overlap. Go ahead.
I think the important thing is that the Lexus is going to suffer more on tire wear.
Oh.
And by pushing Spangler really hard, forcing Spangler to drive really hard, Mercer might be forcing him into a bad position later in the race.
Ooh, good point. So this is, we don't know how it happened. That's Jack Krause, who was having a little trouble through the second chicane and in the process of trying to get back on track. That's a 0 TC moment if I ever saw one. Spins it on the grass. Andrew Carpenter, our other Audi, Austin Carpenter, I apologize, has completed his one mandatory pit stop, comes back out on track just behind his teammate Tim Flamger. So that's our two Audis running P14 and 15 in this race. Nixon on Wilson, a relatively tight battle here.
I think Nixon got past Wilson.
I think he did. So had the overlap going into the second chicane and just more aggressive on the brakes, getting the move done on the Mustang.
So statistics-wise, Nixon is up 14 positions from where he started.
Jeez. Up to P5, doing well to help his teammate in the team championship. Yeah, at this point, with Rados down in P10, due to that unfortunate incident with Escorcia, yeah, the TSC team
completely out.
Yeah, and Blanchett having to RTG early on. This is
all Mercer and Nixon need to do is just to bring the points home.
Yeah.
I think Mercer wants to fight for the race win. But I don't think he's going to take any massive risks doing it.
Yeah, no, dead.
I mean, if things stay as they are, he's going to win both the team championship and the drivers' championship. So I don't think he's going to risk anything silly, but he is going to try to win the race.
Yeah, no, and like you said, just being where he is, just pressuring from behind, not necessarily going for any crazy moves, but pressuring the driver ahead into making a mistake on his own. Maybe that's how Mercer's going to get this move done. 20 minutes left in this race. Omar Escorcia resetting the fast lap of the race, a 146.510. Relatively close action. So this is Nixon P5, Gomer Wilson P6, with Escorcia only 4/10 behind them. I believe these are the two positions he lost after that turn 1 incident. He's going to be wanting those spots back. Hopefully not driving too angry, otherwise Gomer Wilson better watch out. Looking to the left going into Ascari. Not going for the move, just maybe letting Gomer Wilson know he's there. Danny Durant's losing the position to Klaus. Just had a bad exit out of that second chicane. And a bad exit out of... Yeah, wow.
Big slide.
That's job done for the BMW of Kurt LeMay. Well done to him, P17. Oh, from bad to worse, that's Fernandez now getting the position over Durance as well. I don't want to spend too much time rubbing salt in the wound of Danny Durance, but I want to see at least how this happened going through Ascari. Yeah, that McLaren of Danny Durance is not looking happy. That's 2 positions lost in as many sectors just based on the rear end of that car not being planted to the ground. We're going to have to click another replay. Please hold. Going into turn 1, this was Omar Escorcia on Gomer Wilson. Being respectful, Gomer Wilson was, of the space of the Lexus on the inside, almost giving that position to the faster driver. Of course, Omar Escorcia, the purple lap, the fastest driver on track at the moment. Gomer Wilson saying, maybe I'm going to sit behind you. Hopefully you'll pull me ahead in this race. Escorcia now released to chase down Jordan Nixon, P5. Mercer on Spangler, still tight as ever, but still as hopeless as ever down the straights for the Ferrari 488. We'll have to see if we can get something done through maybe the twistier parts of this track. Escorcia looking from the wing cam. He's got Gomer Wilson and Guy Manperson behind. Guy Manperson, P8, our top silver driver at the moment. With Butkus not on track this evening, this will be P2 in the Silver Championship, locked up for Guy Manperson. I don't know if that's just a consolation prize, but I think overall a great season for the BMW faithful. Jeff Spangler just looking consistent, just looking solid into that braking zone of the second chicane, navigating these slower parts of the track, just hitting his apexes, hitting his exits. Just another day in the office for our defending champion. Ooh, really close on that white line on the exit though. Not sure if that was a speed coupon used. Escorcia almost within slipstream range of Jordan Nixon, about 9/10 the delta. Wait, what is track limits on that turn? These guys are going super wide. Is it the white line on the outside of the curb, or is it the green?
The red and white, I think it is. The multicolor painted curb is still part of the track.
Yeah, okay, so we just saw maybe 2 of 4 drivers there going well off of track limits.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I just had to confirm. I was like, where are these guys going? The track is over here. Mercer.
I mean, Escorcia definitely went off.
Yes.
I think Nixon was right at the limit.
Spangler has dropped Mercer a bit. The gap you see on your screen over 1 second now. Not sure if Mercer made a mistake or if Jeff Spangler is just getting into his groove, feeling the rhythm of this Italian track, channeling his inner Valentino Rossi. We've got Colin Dunham still kind of right up behind Simons. 7/10 the gap. Joel Klaus putting the pressure on Austin Carpenter. 0.3 the gap there. Not quite close enough to make any sort of impression into turn 1, but Carpenter will definitely be feeling the pressure from the arguably faster Lamborghini driver behind. Yeah, Mercer getting dropped a bit.
So at the top, looking at the
ahead.
lap times, Spangler's last lap was extremely fast. It was a 46.757, which is almost the fastest lap of the race. Meanwhile, Mercer's last lap was only 47.5-ish. So I don't know if there was a mistake, but it definitely opened up the gap. And now he doesn't have the slipstream, so it's going to be harder to stay there.
Yeah, perhaps the lap time of this lap he's about to complete will be a clue. We did have an insightful message in the chat. There was talk in the staff chat all week about the Ferrari 488 potentially not having enough fuel to complete this race, depending on if the top driver, is fast enough to get that extra lap at the end. The last lap, a 147.057, so that's well back up to speed. Perhaps just a mistake on the previous lap. Not sure I see any evidence of fuel saving just yet.
Yeah, I did a little bit of a check, and I don't see any evidence of fuel saving. Also, he did say earlier that even with the extra lap, he has enough fuel if he doesn't really warm up the tires on the pace lap.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we saw there a second escorts. Who's it?
Edinburgh.
Oh no, the Nissan. You hate to see it. Gonna quick replay. So this second right-hander just a little bit too far outside on the exit, a little bit of grass, losing a little bit of traction, and that's going to be some unfortunate front-end damage for our other Nissan driver. Not a great night to drive the Godzilla. Aidan Burke and Peter O'Brien. Hopefully we'll see them back next season in this same car. It's a great car, it's a fast car, but as we've seen, it's not the easiest car to drive. Escorcia lost a little bit of time to Nixon ahead. We saw at the start of the previous lap, the gap was down to about 0.3 of a second. It's grown to 0.7 of a second, still within slipstream range. So as we come through the start-finish straight, I do see that his previous lap was invalid, maybe a little off track in one of the sectors, leading to him losing a bit of time to the Ferrari 488 ahead, but still well within slipstream range, still plenty of time, 11 minutes, 46 seconds left on the clock for Escorcia. Maybe try to make a little bit of an overtake, get a little bit of time on the drivers behind to offset any potential penalty coming his way for accidentally. He didn't do it intentionally. He didn't go deep on the brakes and wipe out another car. He just clipped a curb and dropped Andrew Rados. Accidents happen. Gomer Wilson defending from Guy Manperson and Kelvin Lau. Gomer Wilson going wide on the exit of the second chicane, and that will be position lost at least to Guy Manperson. He will maintain the advantage over Kelvin Lau. A little bit of scratching in the background as my old man dog tries to go up a step. Apologies for that if it came through on the microphone. Sounded like the old man was having a heart attack over there. Kelvin Lau right up behind now the back of Gomer Wilson, putting the pressure on the potentially struggling Ford Mustang driver. Looking good though, coming through that final left-hander of Ascari. Okay, so it did come through on screen. I apologize, Squatchmonger. He's a corgi. He's got really tiny legs and he was trying to go up a step. You can imagine his fat belly high-sided a bit. So, sorry about that. Go ahead, Oppo.
Looking at the lap times, it looks like Mercer and Spangler are now both pretty much equal on last lap, but Donnell's was significantly slower, lost almost 4/10. I wonder if tire wear is starting to play into it. McLaren isn't particularly great, although you would think the Lexus is pretty bad, but I don't know, maybe Spangler is just a tire whisperer.
Yeah, so from P1 to P2, 1.4 seconds. P2 to P3, 2.4 seconds. The front of this race stretching out a little bit. We might have some interesting moments potentially as Jeff Spangler, you see him coming up on a bit of blue flag traffic here. It might just be the little bit of spice that we need to bring this top three back together, get a little bit more action on track. Speaking of action, we've got Escorcia still hanging out behind Jordan Nixon. This is a battle for P5 and 6 on track. Nixon well wide through the final part of Escari, almost into the gravel. That would have lost a lot of drive, but doing well. Invalidated his last lap, potentially just invalidated this one. Being hunted by that Lexus of Escorcia. You see it on your screen. The gap is about 0.7 of a second. Maybe not close enough for an overtake, but still well within slipstream range. Escorcia looking hungry. We've got, oh no, got Wilson Fernandez backwards through Sector 3. He was at the time battling with, that's Joel Klaus in the Porsche ahead. Don't know if I don't know if we'll get this replay for long enough. It might end before we see what happens. Oh, and Wilson Fernandez returning to garage. So not sure what happened, but that's one of our three Brazilian drivers back into the pits. Dornell's our final representative on track, and yeah, still seems to be dropping back. So another slower lap, a 47.3, so not slow by any means, but compared to the 46.9 and 46.8 of...
Good past Carpenter. Still side by side. Contact.
Oh dear. Ooh, Klaus gets the move done in the end. We'll have to click a replay. That was going into the second chicane. Around Curva Grande, he had the advantage already, but Austin Carpenter looking to fight back. Brave on the brakes, draws alongside, tap into corner entry, but Joel Klaus maintains position. Good battling from these guys. 0.2 now the gap. So on this occasion, Escorcia much closer to the Ferrari 488 ahead. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, Escorcia made a mistake. From Mollica, he had to brake past the apex. He was gonna run wide, and that cost, as you can see, all the acceleration is gone. If he had nailed that corner, I think they would have been side by side going into turn 1.
Still plenty of opportunities left for this move to happen. 6 minutes now left on the clock. We'll have to keep an eye on where our race leader Jeff Spangler is when he crosses the line next time around. Do a quick calculation on laps remaining. But as it currently stands, Jeremy Mercer, P2 on track, P1 overall in the points. As things stand, this will be your Season 15 Division 1 champion. Just under 6 minutes to go in this race. Ferrari 488 looking strong, not looking to take any risks. 1.5 seconds the gap ahead. Looking like he's going to be consistent to just bring this one home. Content? Not content to bring this one home. There we go. A lot of curb there for Jordan Nixon. Now has Escorcia right up behind him. Looks like we're going to have about 3 laps remaining in this race. So there will be 3 more opportunities for Escorcia to make this move happen into turn 1. Nixon going defensive, holding the right side of the track. Escorcia last second jumping out to the left side by side. Brave on the brakes is Escorcia, and Jordan Nixon looking like he kind of just let that one go. He's playing the long game. He's playing the team game. Just going to bring home some points.
LeMay versus Dan Cran.
Oh, side by side action.
Just missed it. LeMay was in front going into the final corner.
Oh, we got to get a replay for that then. So this is Dan Cran on the outside of Parabolica. Oh, so he stopped short. LeMay goes a little bit deep. Dan Cran with the textbook over-under, making it look easy. That's P18 now for the restrictor victor. Well done, Dan Cran.
Yeah, so going back to Escorcia versus Nixon, I think Nixon is just being... I mean, he doesn't need to be strategic, but I think it's just the way they do this. I mean, they've won the team championship many times in that team, so I think they're just always playing it kind of like, well, don't fight too hard, just bring in the points, and that's how you win.
Don't go wide into the gravel. Doing well to keep it collected. Those bumps on the outside have the ability to spin your car around. Jordan Nixon is going to have to do that, looks like 2 more times in this race. Side-by-side action. This is Kelvin Lau on Gomer Wilson. And into the braking zone of Parabolica. I wonder if Wilson maybe made a mistake coming out of Ascari? Yeah, not great drive there for the Mustang. And with the top speed advantage, Kelvin Lau just kind of walks past him. So that is now P8 for the Lexus driver. Only 4 Lexuses in the top 10. That's not too bad. That's not as catastrophic as we were thinking for this race. Doug, though, just outside of the top 10. Papa Doug, P11, making it look good in that car. We've got Klaus on Carpenter still going on. So Carpenter lost the position early on, but still making a fight of it. Side by side, Dan Cran on Danny Durant's. And Durant's tries to hang it into the second part of the chicane, still side by side. They're going to be potentially side by side all the way through Curva Grande into the second chicane. Gonna stay on board to see how this one resolves itself. Dan Cran will have the advantage going into the first left-hand part of the chicane, and with a little bit of power advantage, yeah, so that will be Dan Cran holding the position, P17 over Durance, who got a not-so-great exit and will potentially lose another position. Also to Kurt LeMay, who wisely backs out going into that first right-hander. No need to stick your nose into a closing gap and creating an incident there. Still a couple more opportunities for this battle to sort itself out. We've got Man Person, a small train behind, so looking back, we've got Kelvin Lau, Gomer Wilson, and Andrew Rados battling for positions 7 through 10 on track. One more chance around this Monza circuit to sort out these final top 10 positions. Looking ahead, the gap from Spangler to Mercer, 2.5 seconds at the last sector line. An additional 3.5 from P2 to P3. John Laz, we haven't focused on him much, but it's a beautiful car and it's been a beautiful race. A lonely P4 for John Laz. It's 3 seconds, it's 10 seconds ahead to Dornell's, it's 3 seconds behind to Escorcia. I mean, this might be his best results of the season. Fair play, John Laz in the Ferrari 296. Jeff Spangler, final time through Ascari. Just keeping it valid. We don't want to see any sort of last-minute penalties for track limits. Hard into the braking zone for the Parabolica, and as he comes around the final corner for the final time, Jeff Spangler, number one, the number plate, number one on track, and number one in our hearts for the HKS Lexus driver. He won in this race. Well done to him. Jeremy Mercer, though, your overall points champion, Division 1, Season 15, taking home the team title as well with his teammate Jordan Nixon, the other TSC Ferrari 488 driver. We do have our silver driver. Oh, speaking of last minute drive-through penalties, Aiden Burke. I hate to see it. I wonder how that happened. Maybe he pit for damage. But either way, Eric Marecki, your silver overall winner. Well done to him. A couple of podium results for him on this season. Not what you would expect. He had a P3 in Hungary. He had a P2 at Laguna Seca after that wild and wet qualifying session, giving him a huge points advantage. Eric Marecki, your Season 15 silver winner in that beautiful Harrods and Kumar McLaren 720 Evo. We had Papa Doug crossing the line P11. Escorcia crossed the line in P5. We'll have to keep an eye on some of the post-race action, as it were. There we go. Eric Marecki crossed the line. Congratulations to him. We'll have to see if we can get some of these boys into the wall and into the commentary booth for a quick interview. So, Ilpo. That was a great race.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate what happened on lap 1.
Yeah.
But despite that, we had some good battles, some moves. So, yeah, good race.
Yep, so just waiting for our drivers to filter in to the post-race chat. I'm feeling we might as well talk first to the fan favorite. We've got now Eric Marecki in the booth. This race, maybe not the greatest race you've ever driven, but silver overall. Season 15 champion, how does it feel, and do you have any ideas yet for your shoey?
No, I have some ideas, but I'm gonna keep it a secret.
Ooh.
I'm not really sure exactly, but I feel like it's gonna be fun. As far as the race went, yeah, I blew this race and the last race, so it's not a great way to end the season, but 2 podiums earlier in the season, I mean, I'd rather take those than a couple of 8ths. So if I have to crash a couple of times or run out of gas to get a couple of podiums, I think I'll take it.
Yep, that's just balancing the karmic scales. Well done. I mean, Ilpo, you got anything for the man?
I mean, what can I say? That was pretty dominant, having confirmed the championship before even the last round. Congratulations, that was a good show.
Yeah, if Buckus was here, I mean, it would have been completely different. I mean, if he didn't miss the Laguna race, he probably would have been on pole and he could have won it. And that him not showing up that race was basically the one that's kind of sealed the deal. It's especially with the points you get from a second place and a third place the week before, and then him having the same possibility but just not being here, that kind of gave me a little bit of breathing room so I could screw up the rest of the season.
Absolutely. So, opportunity. Any final shout outs, thank yous, acknowledgements?
Yeah, shout out all the Madhouse boys and Colin. He's been my teammate for, I don't know, feels like 8 seasons now. We've always kind of worked well together, so maybe he's the good luck charm I need to get back on track and put up a good showing in gold next year.
There we go. All right, we'll let you get back to the race review. Congratulations again.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I do, of course, want to talk to our gold and team winners, but perhaps before that, I'm going to click over to Mr. Jeff Spangler, who it was a new car this season. He went with the Lexus, and I don't mean to say finally, but it looks like finally here in his final race of the season. P1 overall, a dominant performance. How did the Lexus feel, and now that maybe you've gotten well accustomed to it?
Yeah, hey, thanks. Definitely getting there in terms of feel. I think I said I didn't have a podium on my bingo card this season. I definitely didn't think I was going to get a win. The C's kind of parted there for me. Ryan Yeestyle, Ryan, if you're out there listening, you know what I'm talking about, NDT1. Yeah, so just didn't have top pace today. I've kind of found that in Lexus. I usually don't, but I'm able to put in some consistent laps, and if I can be within a couple tenths of my best lap, that's good for me. Absolutely brutal what happened to Anton getting on pole, and I tried to capitalize. He moved over, and I kind of filled the space, and Peter didn't have a lot of wiggle room because of that, so the little touch, and I was able to get through. And then after that, it wasn't easy, but Jeremy didn't make it too stressful. It's funny, the last race of last season, I was in the McLaren, he was in the Mustang, and I just couldn't catch him at Imola to get the win. But took the championship, and now he gets another championship as well. So congrats to him.
Absolutely. So I mean, so overall thoughts on the season, overall thoughts on the car. Are we going to see you back in the Lexus next season, or are you going to make a return to your beloved McLaren? I mean, how's it looking for the future?
I don't know if. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to go back to the McLaren. I think if I drive something, it'll be Bentley. I'm going to be doing that for the Endurance Series. I might take a season off. I think I've been here since season 5. But yeah, as far as the Lexus goes, I just couldn't ever quite get the consistency in it this season. Could have had a good result at Laguna Seca as well. Unfortunate with some connection issues, but very pleased to be able to finish the season in my last race in the number 1 car with a win. So yeah, very, very happy. Shout out to John Laz. It looked like he ran a great race and definitely gave us some breathing room up there at the front. So that was nice. I didn't have to worry too much. I kept checking the map to make sure nobody was gonna try any crazy undercuts and be successful, and that didn't happen. So I was really worried about my pit stop. Because I've struggled with pit cycles with the Lexus, and just able to get out in front of Jeremy and then kind of go on from there. So another shout out to Jason Allen, my fantasy team owner. This one's for you, baby.
There we go. Ilpo, you got anything for the man?
I mean, what can I say? That was good performance. Congratulations on getting the win.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. And thank you guys this season for doing what you do. Appreciate it. And good luck tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Thank you. We'll let you get back to it.
All right. Take care, guys. Night.
All right. So I do see a Mr. Mercer and Mr. Nixon in the chat. So if I may be so bold as to drag in both of you at the same time, we've got Mr. Jeremy Mercer and Mr. Jordan Nixon in the booth, our team overall points winners for this 15th season in that beautiful Ferrari 488. Congratulations to both of you playing the team game with the consistent points finishes. How does it feel, and have we started popping the champagne yet?
Oh, thank you. Champagne has been popped.
Yes, that a boy.
Not yet. You should.
Yeah, so
No,
Jordan,
it's
we
been
have
a really good season.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was just gonna say it's been a really good season, and I've really liked the 488. So, can't recommend it enough. It's drives great, sounds good, better than the 296 in every way. So
in every way.
Try it out, guys.
Yeah, so I mean, Jordan, we haven't had a whole. I don't think we've had any chance actually to talk to you this season. It's always been your teammate taking up the airspace. I mean, we commented earlier in this race where you've just been the perfect teammate all the way through, just consistent points finishes from start to finish. Is this kind of a conscious strategy that you guys have where, you know, if you, Jordan, get into a fight, you just kind of let it resolve itself without going door to door too much? I mean, what's you guys' secret to team success?
I would love to say that I let Jeremy beat me, but I don't think we've ever had a chance to door bang. So that was my first season back in about a year. So funny, last season I raced with Jeremy. We won the team champ then too. So that was about a year ago. I'm just good enough to get carried by Jeremy. So not good enough to win myself, but just right there, good enough. So I'll take it.
Well, to give you credit, that last season you did beat me in the individual championship by like.
Oh, I did,
points.
didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like 2 points apart or something. Yeah. Yeah. So the start of the season for me was a bit rocky. I had like the 19th at PR, and then I got taken out in at Nürburgring, just an unfortunate incident. So, but since then, you know, came back. I think I've had 3 or 4 top 10s in a row, even 2 top 5s. So it's just been a chore to get back into the groove of things. But yeah, Jeremy is our setup guy, and he's really helped me send in Motec and, you know, just helping me get back in the swing of things. So it's been a great season. 488 is so much fun to drive.
And actually, so speaking of setups, I mean, Jeremy, historically, at the end of a season, you post all of your setups for us, you know, faithful followers to download and try out. I mean, you're trying to get everybody to drive the 488. Are you going to help us out with some setups?
Yeah, I'm gonna share all my setups again.
Yes.
So yeah, check out the tuning setups. Ferrari, is there a 488 section? Or am I gonna have to hijack the 296 section? I'll have to check.
Oh no, you get out of my beloved 296 chat.
Either way, they'll be available.
Nice, fantastic. Ilpo, jump in. What do you got?
So I'm kind of curious about this race. So Jeremy, you got kind of close to Jeff a few times. How hard were you trying to win the race and not just win, like take the points home?
Not hard at all. I was literally only going to plan on passing him if he was like off track. My goal was just to stay in his draft, and if he runs fast, the draft helps me run his pace. So it makes it less dependent on me for what my lap time ends up being, because draft gives me so much time on the straight, and then I just have to brake early for the turns. And if I ever lose some time, as long as I'm still in the draft, I can get back up again. So that's towards the end of the race and towards the end of the first stint I got out of the draft, which made it a little harder. But yeah, the goal is just to stay in the draft.
Did you know that even if you lost P2, you would still win the Drivers' Championship?
I did know that. I knew that if Dornelis won and I was in third, I was pretty sure he had it. So
you had to be no more than 1 position down from him.
Yeah, if we're this far up, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I knew that. And so if he had gotten close, I would have fought him very hard and hoped Jeff really cleared out. Such that it would have been hard for him to catch Jeff and make the pass. So didn't end up coming to that. So
very much kind of like a strategic play to guarantee the championships.
Yes.
Nice.
To be fair, though, I think it would have been very difficult for me to actually pass Jeff. He was fast the whole race and he didn't make any major mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, at least from, you know, the outside looking in, it didn't seem like the Ferrari 488 had the grunt to make an overlap on the long straights. You could stay there, but it didn't seem like the gap was reducing. Or was that you lifting, or was that just the car not being powerful enough?
The Lexus is the biggest straight line king in this league. But I was running a pretty low wing setup such that when I was in the draft, I could keep pace. There would be a potential opportunity because the Lexus is kind of terrible on brakes and the Ferrari is pretty good on brakes. So if I was truly tucked in his draft, there would be a potential for just get him on the brakes. But even still, it would be pretty difficult because you wouldn't have any overlap going into the brake zone.
Very good, very good. All right, so of course, congratulations again. Jordan, before we send you back, you got any shout outs, any thank yous to the family or to the community?
Oh, just, like I said, it's been about a year since I've been here, and SRA it really is one of the best leagues out there. So if you don't race here, you should. So just shout out to the community, all the admins, the stewards, just everybody for making it a great time. So, and thanks to you guys for taking the time to announce this stuff. So we appreciate it.
Oh, of course. Jeremy, for the final time this season, final shout outs and thank yous. What do you got for us?
Again, of course, Jordan Nixon, my teammate, Peter O'Brien, also keeping us company as we drive. And of course, the 488.
Good. All right. Well, we will let you get back to the race review. Thank you and congratulations once again.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So that is it. We've got Mercer. I'm tired. I'm forgetting names. We got Mercer. We've got Nixon. We've got Marecki, our silver and gold and team championship winners. Congratulations to all. Congratulations to Jeff Spangler on this race win, final race of the season. Thank you, Ilpo, for hanging out with me all season. I know it's a pain in the butt. I know you're a hard-working man, but I think we had a good time.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've had some fantastic racing here this season, and hopefully we'll have more next season, even if I might not be commentating on D1 because I might be driving there again, but we'll see about that.
No, we're selfish. We're going to keep you in D2. We're having fun down there.
I'm not sure they would allow that again.
Nah,
we'll have to see about that.
All right, we'll get there. I'll put in an admin ticket. I'll hold you hostage. So, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, thank you for the final time joining us here. This has been an amazing season. Shout outs to Iris. Sorry that Anton didn't have the greatest race. Shout out, we've got Lau in the chat congratulating his teammate. Thank you to Diego, not always being on track, but always being in the chat to support Coach Jeffries and everybody else, sending you away for the final time. Until next season, I've been Filipinas Mueller, Ilpo Rutzaline, and joining me in the booth. We will see you next time.